I am joined by Darius Eghdami. Darius is the CEO of FansUnite, which is a sports and entertainment company, and we'll be talking all sorts of stuff related to that industry today. Darius, why don't we begin while people are joining us? Why don't you give our audience that's here so far a brief introduction to FansUnite and what your vision is?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you a very high level of what we do, not get too nitty gritty, but we're a sports betting company. We focus on the technology side of things. We have three arms to our business to consumer, which is our direct to consumer facing sports betting platforms. We've developed our own technology that we're going to be launching later this year in most likely, Latin America. And then we have our business to business side, which is B2B, where we're going to white label and license out our technology to other operators. To use our technology, we're going to give them a customizable front end, full back end, risk, odds, events, everything you need to run a sports book.
Yeah.
And then we're management and our board's very focused on M&A. So we closed our first acquisition in March, which was the UK sports book called McBookie. Awesome team, awesome brand. They've been around for 10 years. And we just made an announcement to do another acquisition merger with FansUnite Entertainment, which is going to be our esports arm moving forward. So we're super excited about that, but I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, there's been a lot of buzz around that latest acquisition, and like you mentioned, we will definitely get into all of that. I wanted to ask you a little bit about this sector. There's a lot of people that might not truly understand it, get sport betting confused, or kind of in the same basket as esports, e-gaming. Why don't you give us a little breakdown on the different sort of tentacles that this industry and space actually has and where you guys fit in?
Yeah, for sure. So like you said, esports is a whole encompassing thing, from teams to just games, but we're really focused on the betting side of things. So actually betting on the actual matches, from who wins to who gets the first kills to a whole bunch of range of things. So as a company, we're really focused on the betting side of things. We look at sports betting, we look at casino, and then of course esports and as well as virtual sports. So we're taking bets on every sport you can think of, from the NBA and NFL to darts, curling, and of course esports. We have a full casino product, slots, RNG games, blackjack, roulette, all that type of stuff. And then just actually mostly due to the pandemic, we added virtual sports, which is essentially simulated games, but it's on demand simulated events that you can bet on throughout the match.
I want to actually talk a little bit about these virtual games that you just kind of brought up, and especially with the pandemic. Have you guys seen an uptick in obviously the users and the amount of interest that's being generated on platforms like yours?
Yeah. We were a little worried when we went public and sports shut off right away, but we were fortunate that the casino numbers started driving up really, really fast. We added virtual sports, so virtual like racing, horse racing, tennis, soccer, and we saw a huge uptick in there, about 300% growth just from the last month, about 500,000 bet in the last 60 days just on virtual sports. So that was really good and made up, the loss of sports. And now with sports coming back, it's been great. So we kind of hit the ground running now.
Got it. Let's talk about this sector globally. For people that might not know, what is the potential of this space? How big is it? Let's start locally, and then we can talk a bit nationally and globally.
Yeah, I mean it's massive, right? We're talking a multi-trillion-dollar industry and ever growing. Just locally, internationally, obviously it's massive. The next big giant is the U.S. market, so they're opening up on a state-by-state basis. They saw record revenue numbers during the pandemic for like legal online poker and casino. Colorado was the next state that opened up, and I think you're going to see all the states slowly open up here. But right now it's very fragmented. You're trying to get licenses state by state. It's very time-consuming. It's very expensive. Canada, another market that is looking to open up right now. You have to do multi-game betting, so parlay. So they're talking about opening that up and going single-game betting. So I think Canada might be one of the next ones that open up. But internationally, new jurisdictions are popping up every day, and it's growing at a rapid pace. Which I think is why there's so much buzz around the industry right now with all the big American companies in the gaming space. Their stocks are doing very, very well as well.
And is there a specific region where interest and talent is coming from? Because I imagine a technology in a space like this, it's very heavy on talent that's coming out. Obviously to build the technology and the platform, but also to kind of further from the other aspect of it. So do you have any comments on that for us? Where
Yeah,
we can see that?
I think talent's all over. We've been very lucky to find great talent here in Vancouver, from both us and Ascot. The majority of our development teams are in Vancouver, so that's awesome. We get to work, everything's in-house. We get to work with them. So talent is key, and then where you're going to operate and where you're going to market is also big. We're going to focus on the European market and the Latin American market.
Got it. So to anybody that might just be joining us, today I'm talking to Darius Eghdami. Darius is the CEO of FansUnite. It's a newly listed company on the Canadian Securities Exchange. I'm Anil Mall, representing the CSE out of the West Coast, and we're talking about sports betting and everything to do with FansUnite and what they're doing. What about your team? So I personally know that you guys have been working on this project and this company for quite some time now to be able to take it public and get to this point. Let's talk a little bit about your team and how this came together.
Yeah, it's been a long road, like you said. So we've been working on this for some time. We got a great team. My CFO, Graham, he's been with us for quite some time as well. I've known him for, I think, almost 9 years. We used to work at KPMG together. He was the corporate controller, Traction on Demand, previously, which is one of Canada's fastest growing companies. Our other co-founder, Duncan, I've known for, I think, about 17 years. So we're a really tight-knit group. And then we've surrounded ourselves with a very good group of experienced board members. So, we have guys like Harish, which we announced, I think, last week. He was the ex-president of Paddy Power Betfair Asia Pacific, which is one of the largest gaming companies in the world. We brought on Saxon on the board, who's been a gaming executive for the last 15 years, launching brands all around the world. So the network and connections is huge for us, and that's why we wanted to surround ourselves with people like that.
Fair enough. And how's things? So obviously, you mentioned at the beginning of the call, you guys have been working remotely. Obviously, in the technology space, it's been sort of almost a normal thing where teams are all located globally. Everybody's working different time zones. So did you notice much of a shift when we came into, let's say, March and this kind of pandemic hit and everybody was starting to work from home? How did you guys adjust to that? Or was there an adjustment?
Yeah, I think it was actually a pretty quick adjustment. The devs used to be able to just, nudge each other and talk about certain problems. So that took a little bit of time. Same with Graham and I, we work side by side, especially going through that whole prospectus filing. But I think we adjusted pretty quick. I think everyone actually really likes it. There's no commute. We're all online, 24/7. We're on Slack. We're on Zoom calls. So we're being very connected still. And we still do calls every other day, catch up with the group. But I think everyone's liked it actually so far. But we will be going back, I think, probably in the next month or so.
Got it. So talk to me a little bit more about the potential of this market. Like someone like myself who doesn't know much about sports betting, I don't gamble, I don't go to casinos and things like that. So why don't you walk me through to how this technology is not only changing what people are doing in those casinos and bettings and venues and things like that, but what's next and what the potential of this industry is.
Right. Yeah, we kind of talked about how big the industry is, and it's obviously continuing to grow. I think what we've seen in the last couple months is the shift of consumer habits from potential bricks and mortar and physical to online gaming, which is exactly where we want to be. Everything for us is online gaming. We want to be a full suite of iGaming solutions. And so players who used to go in the casino and play, I think they shifted to playing online during this pandemic. I don't think they're going to really go back. So I think the online numbers are going to increase like crazy. The mobiles obviously increase like crazy. And then the US market opening up on a state-by-state basis has really pushed this to the next level. So that's why we're seeing all those big gaming companies in the States. DraftKings went public in April, again, in the middle of a pandemic with no sports. And I think their stocks almost tripled since they went public. Other groups like Penn National Gaming, GVC, stocks are going crazy. Flutter Entertainment merging with the Stars Group, which of course is one of Canada's most successful gaming companies. They merged to create the largest gaming company in the world by revenue standpoint. So obviously the story is resonating. Gaming is a hot space right now. And I think, for us, we're just at the tip of the iceberg here. So we're excited.
Awesome. Now, we talked very briefly about your newest acquisition, Ascot Entertainment, I should say. Why don't you talk to our viewers about Ascot Entertainment? What does Ascot Entertainment do? What did they do? And how did you guys come into this sort of acquisition?
Yeah, for sure. We were never really expecting to make a big splash like this. You know, we were looking at smaller acquisitions. I mentioned where we were focused on M&A, but when this opportunity came up, you know, we decided to aggressively pursue it. So I've known Scott, their CEO, for quite some time. Our teams have actually worked together before. You know, some of our board members know each other, which is awesome. So it's been very seamless so far. You know, we were a sports betting company. We always wanted to get into esports. They're one of the best earliest pioneers in esports, and they wanted to get into sports betting casino. So it was kind of this perfect match. And they've been around for 6-7 years. They were doing esports before most people knew, you know, what esports were. So they have a great technology platform. They have multiple B2C platforms already live. Their B2B platform is very strong. They actually just got nominated, shortlisted for one of the esports platform providers of the year, which is amazing. They already have 4 clients on the B2B side, and they've been developing their own RNG casino games as well that are going to be going into aggregators and hundreds of different sports books. So they have a great suite of assets. They have an amazing team. They got some great shareholders. And again, our teams have merged so far, you know, so seamlessly. So it's been a really nice transaction because, you know, M&A is always difficult, but so far it's been great. I think we have a huge opportunity now to become, you know, Canada's leading gaming company.
Great. And they're based here in Vancouver as well?
They're based here in Vancouver, yeah, and they have some technical talent in Europe, but for the most part, they're almost all here in Vancouver, and our offices were just a couple blocks away from each other, so we're going to be merging those next month.
Great. So I took a look at your press release that you guys had. There was, you know, definitely some combined highlights and potential from bringing someone like, or a company like FansUnite Entertainment on board and acquiring it. What does that mean for FansUnite, and what are you guys combining?
Yeah, so it takes us to the next level, right? And I think the company highlights in the press release, you know, we have 4 B2C platforms now live between the 2 groups globally. We have 4 B2B clients signed up. 2 are live right now. 2 more are coming. We have a great asset in the UK, which is McBookie. They've been around for 10 years. They've done over 130 million of betting volume just in the last 3 years. They offer sports betting, casino, virtuals. The B2B side, you know, it's the blue sky. Those 4 clients that have come in so far have been kind of all inbound, which is great. So there's a lot more in the pipeline. And then Scott and I have shared the same vision that we want to, you know, grow fast, and we want to grow through M&A as well. So Scott and I are looking at deals already every day, passing some back and forth to each other. So we want to be aggressive on the M&A front and grow and, you know, find companies that have good technology, good user base, revenue and cash flow. So that's going to be a main focus of ours over the next 12 months.
Got it. Darius, I do have a question when it comes to this space and regulations. Are you able to comment on that? Obviously, being something that is accessible and used globally as a technology, and various regions that you guys are accessible to, which is obviously every single one. How does that work? How do the regulations work from country to country and place to place?
Yeah.
I would imagine something like the US, it would be state to state. Is it provincially? Is it province to province here? And is it the same sort of way that gambling laws would work? Or can you maybe educate us on that?
Yeah, quite a bit of compliance issues. And we both have some great gaming lawyers who I think is very familiar with the CSE, with Ron Segev, who's been our gaming lawyer since the very start. Yeah, he's a great lawyer. So, yeah, compliance is different really everywhere. We're not really attacking the Canadian market right now. It's very government focused. US is state by state, like you said. So we'd like to wedge ourselves into the US market, but we're not planning on being an operator right now. Getting your license state by state is expensive. It's time consuming. So we're really focusing on the European market right now. And so there, for the UK, we got McBookie. They're only accepting bets from the UK. And then with Ascot, they just completed their technical audits to get both a B2C license and a B2B license out of Malta. And Malta is part of the EU and allows us to work out of the EU.
So those are going to be the immediate focuses then through McBookie and UK and Ascot and Malta.
Exactly. Yeah.
And do you see, so your technology, do you guys already use other tech like AI and stuff like that? Do you see that sort of the technology space being integrated into a technology and sports betting and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we don't do a ton of that, but we definitely see the opportunity there. You know, there are sports books, you know, doing more machine learning and AI, not only from creating data and providing odds, but actually being able to cater to their sports bettors. So definitely an angle, not one that we're focused on right now, but, you know, potentially one that we look through M&A transactions.
As you guys grow, obviously. What about your peers in this space? What's your competition like?
Yeah, there's a lot of, good assets out there. I think I mentioned some of the ones in the US. They're obviously a lot bigger, but they've shown that clear path to success. DraftKings themselves, massive market cap. They just did that acquisition with SB Tech to bring technology in-house, which SB Tech is a sports betting platform provider. And Scott and I have always shared that same vision that we want to have technology in-house, which is why we're so focused on the B2B side. So a lot of good.
I think Darius's line. Oh, got you back. Good timing.
Yeah. Yeah, when phone calls come in, I didn't realize you just got to click decline and then I go frozen. But
that might have been my mess up there, because I should have mentioned to you to put it on silent. No biggie.
No worries. Yeah. So there's, the path has been laid here in Canada, I think mostly with Amaya and how they grew from a technology company to M&A and getting bigger and bigger M&A transactions. And so I think we're on the right path. We've got great technology. We have a great team. We have great financiers here in the Canadian capital markets. So that's the kind of path we're looking to go down ourselves.
Got it. So why don't you talk to, or you looked like you were frozen there for a second. Why don't you let our viewers know where they can find more information on FansUnite? Obviously, you guys have a social media following, but your website, LinkedIn, and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're at fansunite.com. That's our website. You can see kind of our team, our deck, our fact sheet. We're on the CSE. Our ticker symbol is FANS, FANS. And we got all the social handles on both LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We're pretty active on those.
I'm gonna leave the last little bit with you. I mean, the audience obviously is here to hear from you. So why don't you give them a little bit more on FansUnite, what's coming up, and what they can look out for?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So we've only been public for a couple months, but it's been a very busy couple months, especially with this new merger with Ascot. So, the next immediate goal for us is obviously make sure that deal closes. We're hoping to get that closed in the next 30 days. And then we're heads down, looking to grow McBookie. We think there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there. We want to grow that company. We want to get some more clients on our B2B side. And then, like I mentioned, our team, our execs, our board, we're very heads down on M&A. So we're looking at deals right now every day, and we'll look to do some of those pretty soon.
Awesome. Darius, again, I truly appreciate you taking the time to not only educate myself on sports betting in this space, but also talking to our audience about your newest acquisition, what a company like FansUnite and its team is up to. I look forward to watching you and your team grow as usual. And maybe what we can do is host you on a longer formatted podcast, which is our #finance. For anybody listening and watching, if you do find this content informative, please do like and subscribe, or follow us on Instagram. If you're watching here on YouTube, it's CSE TV. You'll find all of this content on there. Darius, once again, I want to thank you and the team at FansUnite for your newest listing. Welcome to the Canadian Securities Exchange. And we look forward to listening and talking to you again.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Perfect. Thanks, Darius. Have a great weekend.
Okay. Cheers.
Ciao.